And OMG, this is gonna be.
He's here.
He's here. He's here. My son is joining me on my podcast today. Now, this podcast episode, I always have just for him to know, because, our children don't really know what we do. They kind of know what we do. This is, yes, video recorded, but this is also audio recorded. So this is going to be on Spotify and Apple. And so some of y'all are just listening. So you don't get to see him, but you should come over to my YouTube and we'll have all that in the show notes so you can see my son, Trey. What's up? How are you?
I'm chilling. I'm all good. Feeling great.
Oh my God. So I have been telling you, I want you on my podcast. I want you on my podcast. And what do you always say when I say that?
That she's never ever gonna have me on it. She's for months. Oh, I want you on the podcast. It just hasn't happened. I was skeptical.
I know. I know. And that's my bad. And that's one of the things that as a parent, we're talking about parenting over 40. And that is something that you and your brother get on me. Like, you tell mom you say that, but you don't but you don't do it. But I really was gonna do this in May for a Mother's Day treat, but it didn't turn out that way. And so I've decided to do it now as we are starting the new season. And you are doing so well. And I'm so proud of everything that you're doing. So see, we needed the time to get there. So I'm not gonna talk a whole lot, but I want to give the audience some context. Again, this episode is about parenting over 40. Trey is 20, on his way to 21 at the time that we're recording this. And can you share with our audience just a little bit about yourself? Like, who are you? I don't want to tell them who you are. I want you to say who you are,
Well,
what you do.
as you guys as you guys know, I'm Trey, the one and only. I'm from I'm from Chicago, but well, okay, I'm from Flossmoor, but I'm gonna say Chicago every time. Uh, I like music, basketball, and I like making YouTube videos for money. And yeah,
Yeah, for money. That's you added that in, and it's funny because you're not just liking to make YouTube. This is your career right now, correct?
yeah,
Do you look at
yeah.
it like that?
I do, but it's not something I plan on doing forever. It's just like I know I'm good at it. I see the potential in it. So like why not have a blast while I'm doing it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you made some big decisions, and we're gonna get into that because that wasn't the original path. But I want to kind of hear a little bit. If you had to describe yourself when you were a kid, what kind of kid were you? Do you think?
Uh so I had different phases. Like when I was a little kid, like I would say a between like a baby and 9 years old maybe. I was
Mhm.
like I don't know. I was just a kid. I had like no thoughts in my head, I guess. I was just running around. And then at 10, from like 10 to 13, I was really bad. All I did was
Mm.
get in trouble. And then after 14, once I hit 14 in school, I didn't get in trouble anymore at all. Like I stopped that. Uh
So I got to
yeah.
ask. Okay, so why do you think between 10 and 13 when you say you're really bad? Like why? Do you know
I
why?
don't
No, you do.
I look back and I really don't know. Like it was I really have no idea why I was I mean part of it was because I liked having fun. Okay, no, actually I slightly do know. I slightly
Okay.
do know. I
Okay.
was like I was a class clown, kinda, and
Mhm.
I liked making people laugh in class or whatever, and you know that leads to getting in trouble. But
Right.
because I would do these things that I would have like a reputation already. So then
Mm,
even when I wasn't doing things that deserved to get in trouble, I was getting in trouble. And then that it was like that felt unfair. And then I was retaliating because it felt
mm.
unfair. And it was just like a circle, you know?
Yeah, and it's funny because when you were that age, that's what I was like, all the way up through 4th grade, he was great. Like, I mean, you've always been an audacious, and I don't know if you know what I mean by audacious, audacity, audacious. You've always been the kid who you've never been the kid that did anything everybody else did. That was never, even at 3. Like, we'd go to I remember one of your first birthday parties being, like a toddler where you could talk, but you weren't quite in preschool and stuff yet. And I remember I was like, this was our first big birthday party, Trey. Like go play with the kids. They have the bouncy, they have the slides. It's what all of those. And you looked at me and you were like, no, thank you. And you said, no, I don't want to do that. I'm okay. I'm gonna go play over here. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, look at all the kids. And it wasn't like you were being antisocial. It wasn't like you're like scared. You're like, no, I'm not really interested in that. I want to do like over here. And that's how you've always been. And so you were always that, which I think can be hard as parents because we want our kids to be what we call normal, like all the other kids. But then when you got 10, I was like, wait, what in the
But
world?
I actually just thought about it again. I
Mhm,
also, as a at like that 10 through 14, 13 age, if you were like a authoritative figure and you didn't like I could see through that you I don't know that you just were you couldn't handle me, then
mm,
I would really like that's when I think I would really act up because it was like I know I can push the line, and
mhm.
it was like I was just subconsciously doing it, and I don't know, and then I gained consciousness when I was 14, and I just stopped. And yeah,
That is yes, that's absolutely the case. That's absolutely what it was because I would say Trey has these teachers wrapped around his finger. He knows exactly where to push. He knows exactly where to he has sized them up and he doesn't consciously understand that he's doing that, and I would have to tell your teachers that. So I wanted to just say that because I think sometimes parents wonder what's going on with our kid at those age. Because I think that's a natural thing where kids do this shift around that age. Yours went in that direction, other people's, children go in another. But I realized that was going on. But you're right. You got to high school and it was like that never happened
yeah,
because we never had an issue with
yeah,
school.
yeah.
So now you're 20. Originally, you had by your senior year of high school decided you want to go to college, and you went to college. Tell me what, because you're not in college right now, but tell me what. First of all, what made you want to go to college, and then what made you decide no, I don't want to do college.
Well, it was always just in the plan to go. Like that's just what it is. Like you go to high school, go to college, you get a job, and I was kind of just on that path. And what you asked what made me drop out. Is that
Yeah,
what you
what
asked?
made you? Hmm.
Oh yeah, so that was that. And I thought I wanted to be a sports marketing major because I always wanted to do something that I knew that I liked, and I liked
Hmm.
sports. So I was like, let me do that.
Hmm.
So I went to marketing, and then when I was in college, I realized this isn't really something that I want to do. I also wasn't at like the best business school. Like it's
Hmm.
not like it's Xavier.
Hmm.
It's for doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they're I don't like their business program over there. It's trash. So it
No
was just
disrespect to Xavier,
no,
those of you.
no, it's disrespect. It's complete. You remember when we went down there and talked to the head business person there, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about going into sports marketing. He's like, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna be selling like paper clips or something. He
Yes,
doesn't
that's what
know
he
me at
said.
all. He doesn't know what my grades look like. He doesn't know my personality. He doesn't know how much I know about anything. And he just said you're not going to do anything that you actually want to do. You're gonna you're gonna live a life of settling. That's what he like always is
Mm,
preaching, that you're gonna have to live
mm,
this life of settling. And it's like whatever. And, oh yeah, that's why I left, because I'm
right.
not settling. I am not living a life that I saw my life in college on this path that I didn't really want to live, and that I was doing because you're supposed to. And it was like
Mm,
it didn't feel right. Like
mm,
I didn't like I don't think anybody really likes writing essays or doing homework or anything like that, but like I just felt too old for it. I done it already all before. I'm still I don't really like anybody there. Like I'll have my friends, but I'm
right.
not it still felt like high school. Like that's the other thing
Mm,
about Xavier. It's like 3,000, 4,000 students there. So that's the size of my high school. And I
right.
basically went from high school to high school, and it felt like, and I was like, this is what college, and obviously this isn't what college is. There's bigger colleges.
Right.
I would have gone to like I would have gone to a bigger school if I knew. But
Yeah.
but um but yeah, it all just wasn't for me. But I was willing to just thug it out, and just I was like, this is just gonna have to be my life or whatever. I'm just gonna have to hate it. Um,
Mm,
and then,
mm,
but I always said, if if I find something, I am I'm jumping and taking it, because I'm like I'm going to end up not liking my life. Uh,
mm,
and I always thought about YouTube, but I never like really thought about it. But I always had like, if I were to get 15,000 subscribers, I'd probably like 15,000 people to watch me in a certain
mhm,
amount of time, I would probably drop out. And
mm.
that's literally what I did.
So you did, and I want to get into the YouTube story and from a parent's perspective of what I saw was happening versus maybe what was actually happening from inside your world. But before we go there, what how did you when you were, thinking about college and because we have a lot of parents listening to this, were you thinking anything about, well, I want to do what my parents say, or did you feel a conflict with that, or did you feel like, well, no, they'll be all right, or what were you
When
navigating
it
us
when,
or me at all in all of that, in
for
decision
when it
making,
comes to when it
dropping
comes
out, or to shift
No,
gears,
not
yeah,
really.
to
Like
mhm,
it was I was thinking, if they support, they support. If they don't, they don't. I got to figure it out, because I'm not living. I don't care for nobody. I'm not living. Why would I walk and breathe doing something I don't want to for other people? Like that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like
yeah,
when there's a chance that I can actually enjoy what I do, and that just means people aren't going to support me as much, fine.
mhm,
Then I don't need those type of people in my life, then obviously. Like
right, right,
it's one thing though if I'm like trash, like everybody is like, Trey, this is not what you need to be doing or whatever. But like I'm good at it, I'm happy and I'm passionate. I gotta take it. Like there's no way I
yeah.
can't.
Yeah, I mean, which is why I fully supported you in this because I saw how good you were with this. And I wanna now kind of pivot over into that because do you remember when you were 11, 12, making like you were actually
Yeah.
9, I think, when you made your very first little video about the Pythagorean what was it about the Pythagorean or about no, no,
No,
no,
I know what you're
it
talking
was
about.
about it was about
Yeah, it's about
shapes,
polygrams. Like, cause
polygrams.
it wasn't a video though. It was a song. Like they
Right.
said make a song, and I made it. I didn't understand the big deal in that. I'm not gonna lie. I literally just was like square, four sides, and I don't know. I was just
But we ended up recording it and making it into it was just a still shot, I think, picture of
yeah.
you, but we put the song behind it, and that was kinda your YouTube debut. But then your first time of actually taking footage and editing
Was
was the
either
basketball. Well, the first I saw that you showed me was the basketball reel where we had given we when so just to give context to the audience, Trey, he loves sports. Yes, he was always very active in sports. I knew I had to put him in sports from the time he was 1. Literally, you were 1, you might not have even been quite 1, and we were over Becca and Preston's house, and the kids were in one area of the house playing, and we were like adulting, trying to have a life with our toddlers and 1-year-old. And I think you were around 1, and all of a sudden we see this ball fly across us, and we were like, where did that ball come from? Who threw that ball? And it's like he could not have thrown that ball that far. And I remember, like, I mean, I already knew I was probably going to put you in some kind of sports, but it was like, oh, oh yeah. And so, you and your brother are very athletic. And so you started playing basketball. I want to say we put you in your first little basketball thing when you were probably 4-ish, 4 or 5, somewhere in there. So you've always been involved in that. And so by the time you were 11, 12, you were playing, like, we were going on different leagues and AUs and doing the
Mhm.
different things. And so we used to videotape, your father used to videotape all of the games and then text them to you. And
Yeah.
I think this one particular time, you were like, look at what I made. Do you remember doing that? You created your own like reel.
I still have it up on my backup, account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so thinking back to that, like, have you always loved doing video? Like, tell me more about this video making, or is this new? What?
I didn't even, like, love it, but I didn't not like it. Like, it was just something I did, and I I had fun doing it,
Mm.
and, I didn't think much more past that though, because I was like, if I can do this, this is really slight. Like, there's probably way better people who can do this, and I don't wanna really get into it like that. I just like doing it on iMovie.
Yeah. And see, that's what I think happens with kids with their gifts. Like you just said, well, if I could do it, then anybody must be able to do this. Must not be. And that's what I literally heard Jay-Z say that in an interview, that he used to rap around the house when he was like 10, 11. And his mom would be like, "Oh my God, like, did you just hear what you did?" And he was like, "Mom, if I can do it, anybody can do this. Like, this is not a big deal." And he didn't understand the talent that he was having and the gifts that he naturally could just spit a bar, and he didn't think about it. But that's how I
Mhm.
think what this was, and I saw it in you because I could see how you would watch movies. I could see you weren't watching movies the way that, like, you were talking about the way the scene was shot. Or what time you said, "Mom, did you see they had an apple in that scene, and then when they came back, the apple's gone, like, they didn't edit it right." And I was like, "Okay, he's 12. Like, how is he recognizing that?" So what brought you, from my perspective, what got you to decide to look at this? You came home last summer of 2022, and you said, "Mom, I need to find myself. I need to figure out who I am, and I wanna spend the summer figuring that out." That's how I remember it. Do you recall it like that? Or
I
what was going
I
through your mind?
probably I definitely like that summer, I definitely was feeling that, so I probably did say that. But
Okay.
when I made it, I had gone like the entire I said that, and then I went like the entire summer pretty much doing nothing. And I was like so mad at myself. And I was like, dude, you're actually about to hate your life. Like, you're about to go sit in an office and work this crappy job that you don't want, and you're doing nothing about it. So I was like, okay, I just have to make a video real quick, bro. I just have to make a video. And so I made a video at Auntie T's house,
Uh-huh.
and and then I was like, I'm just gonna post every Monday and Thursday for like the next year. And because everybody said, I've seen a lot of people say, if you did YouTube consistently for a year, watch how different your life changes or whatever. And
Mm.
I was like, okay, let's see then. And it changed.
Right. It changed big time because when you showed me, you didn't show me the video until right before you were going back to college. And you were like, "Mom, I think I've found something like that. I think there's something to this." And I was like, "All right." Because one of the things you were doing that summer is you were doing a lot of rapping. You were in the basement rapping, and
Every day.
every day, you guys, he had his mic, he has his, computer, the whole thing. And
I'm I am nice right now. Like it's scary. Back then, okay, I was a little mid because I was first starting off. Right, right now though, it is actually it's getting really scary. I swear to God.
Well, you practiced for over a year. Well, I will say this, when you were doing that, I know you were like getting irritated at me because as a musician, there's a lot of factors. If you're
Oh
going to
my
play me a
God.
song, one, my brain is going to be kind of critical, a lot of critical. Secondly, you're my son, and hearing you curse or hearing you say things and I'm like, is this how you really feel? Like, is this how you're like, Mom? No, I'm just rapping. And it was hard for me to take that in. And I'm gonna be completely honest. I was nervous because I was like, is this what he wants to be? Is he now thinking he wants to be a rapper? And I was like,
Nah.
that's okay if he does, because I mean, I can't be here. I am a artist myself. But when you came up with the video and you said, Mom, I want you to watch this. And it was like, I will never forget that. I was like, this is outstanding. This is outstanding. This is so witty. This is so different. And it's so you. Like, it was like, this is Trey all day, all night. And so for those of you wondering, like, okay, what are these videos? So, can you explain, how would you describe, especially at that time and then maybe now, because you've grown, it's been a year, over a year now, but
Yeah.
when what was how would you describe these videos you do?
Um. So before and still kind of right now, I pretty much just make a video about whatever pops in my head. Like anything that I think would be funny or interesting or entertaining to watch. It's not like a specific at first it wasn't like a specific niche I was going for. I talked about basketball, I talked about rap, I talked about like stupid things like haircuts. Like I just did a whole bunch of just I just made videos just to see like how I was feeling and stuff.
Mhm,
And now everybody likes my rap and basketball stuff the most. So
mhm.
I think I'm just gonna be doing that for the most part now. Is just talking about those two things really, because
Yeah,
those videos go crazy.
yeah, they do. And it's not, for those of you who've never seen Trey's videos, it's not like I mean, he's being very humble right now. He's being very modest. These videos are very witty. He narrates, he produces them, he edits them. And when I say produce, a true producer has to put all the elements together to make the video actually work. So they've got to think about timing, cadence, they've got to think about the visuals, how quickly, the length. There's a lot that goes into, and then music wise, being able to understand what music fits this style of what I'm talking about, all of those things. And I don't even know if you realize you're doing all of that, but that's why I was like, oh no, this is special because there's a lot going on when you have to produce a video that people will actually want to watch. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you can produce videos all day that nobody really could care less about watching. But creating a video that keeps me wanting to keep watching it.
And the other thing is
Mhm.
I do that, like, I try to make a video that you would wanna watch, but the main, like, theme around of what I do is Trey. Like, when you're watching me, I
Mhm.
want you to watch because I made something, not because you see a video about something. It's like,
Mm.
Trey made a video. Okay, if I'm talking about basketball or whatever, like, okay, so Damian Lillard just got traded to the Bucks.
Yes.
He
I
got
see that was a very big deal for you.
Damian Lillard got traded to the Bucks, and so there's accounts that will like post and talk about it, and like just talk about the contents of the trade and like what this means for the Bucks, what this means for Damian Lillard, all this. I do the same thing, but it's not an object. You can't get it anywhere else because it's the way I'm making jokes about it. I'm laughing
Right,
about it. People are watching it
right,
not because they know he got traded. They don't need the news. They just want to see me react to
right,
it.
right,
And yeah.
right.
And that's
Exactly.
like my main focus because you that's like that's one of the things that people don't under that, oh I could go on forever,
Look,
but that's the
yeah, no, go ahead, say what you're gonna say. What were you gonna say?
that's just one of the things that like I don't think a lot of people who try to get into this like focus on, or like, I just noticed that with everybody's favorite creators, they have a personality. Like, you like them
Mhm.
because they're them, and they're, so if I just have to act like myself and pretty much hope people like it, because then that's a free ticket. Because then if people like you,
Right.
then they're always gonna like you. You know?
Right. Right. You're saying something really powerful, and for those of us who are over 40 who, are still searching for our truths. I mean, I feel like I'm living in my truth at this point, but I'm in my 20s, absolutely not. No, no, no. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing what I thought made sense to do, what I was told that would be good for me to do, what I kind of liked. And I mean, I liked it good enough, but not, no, definitely not in the same headspace as you. And so, what do you think just at this 20 years of life, like has life taught you, what has life taught you about yourself? Or did life not teach you anything? You've just been, I mean, no, life has had to teach you something, but what's the biggest thing would you say that life has really taught you at this young
uh,
age?
it's taught me that it's taught me that, one, you have to work hard if you want something. Like, you literally, that's the one thing that, well, there's actually four things.
Mhm.
I have a pillar.
Oh,
It's
say your pillars, baby. Say it. What are the
it's
pillars?
you have to work hard, you have to be consistent, like, you got to keep it up doing it. You have to be talented. I don't like that people don't mention that enough. Everybody acts like we're in this fairy tale world where, you can be trash at something, you can be nice to people, be trash at something, but you work really hard. Like, no, no, you're not good at it. You have to also be good at it. So you have to be talented, you have to work hard, you have to be consistent. And this last thing isn't a need, but it is at the same time, because it just makes things easier, is being patient. You don't have to be
Mm,
patient. You can work hard, be consistent, and be talented and still succeed and be impatient. Like, just, but
mhm,
you're gonna wear yourself out mentally. It's not, you just want to learn how to wait for things and stuff
mm.
like that. But yeah,
That
that's
is very powerful. I'm like, okay, so the four things are talent, consistency, patience. What was the very first one?
hard work.
Hard work. Yes, hard work.
Yeah.
And, for those who are listening who are parenting college aged, or who have kids who are in college or who have gone through college, who are approaching college, it's not to say, oh, poo poo on college. I think the thing that I really wanted Trey to be able to convey is the importance of being yourself. And I do think parenting, is very challenging on every level. Me and Auntie T and your cousin Nisi, we were just talking about how parenting is the hardest job we've ever done. It is. It's got, because you love your children beyond anything you
Nisi
understand love
don't
to be.
Nisi
Huh?
don't even know yet. She
She doesn't know yet. She doesn't. She's learning. She's early. She's a new mom. But Trina is, has been a mom the longest out of the three of us. And then, here I am. But what I've just really kind of learned is you've taught me and your brother, both of you have taught me how to parent you and I couldn't come in parenting you the way that I was parented or the way that I thought I should parent. Cause I wasn't raised around boys. I have a sister, I have a niece, we're all girls, we're just all, and that made a difference because my boys did not do what my, niece did when they were they were active, they were athletes, they want to play, they want to move, they want to jump, they want to be themselves. And I had to learn a lot. So you're working hard, you're doing this full time now. Is it paying off?
Yeah, I'm feeling good right now. For right now, it's definitely paying off. I can confidently say I have made the correct decision. Like,
Yeah.
everything is just better now. Like, my ceiling financially is way better. Just me right now financially is way better.
Yeah. Yeah.
My happiness is up.
Yeah.
My stress is down. Like, literally, the only thing that sucks, but it actually doesn't matter, is that when I talk to people about this, like when I talk to
Mhm.
people about what I'm doing in YouTube and all this, at face value, everybody looks at it like, oh, he's
Mm.
trying to be creative, he's exploring himself, like,
Mm.
or like, condescending, where it's
Yeah.
you you've heard this before. You've heard of somebody who wants to be a YouTuber, try to do something in a creative space, and how that usually goes.
Right.
But I'm not what like I don't try to talk like I'm above, but me and those people that you're thinking about when I say this do not relate. We're
Yeah.
not the same. Like I'm working hard for what I have right now.
Yeah. You are.
And
You
yeah.
are. And they say, I'm very, into spirituality and souls and all the things. And one of the big principles is that your children pick you. They pick the parents they need that will help them be the people they need to be. And that will either be because the way the parent actually parented or the way the parent was not available. Either way, you pick the soul, the parent that will allow you to give you the opportunity to be kind of where you're going for. It doesn't mean that they'll be always supportive or that they'll always be on your team. They may actually be neglectful, they actually may abandon, but that's kind of spiritually what the soul is needing to elevate themselves. And so I'm like, okay, this is what he wants to do. And I watched you, and because I have a background in the arts, I mean, your YouTube channel, please, my poor little YouTube. I mean, you've even inspired me. I'm like, oh my God, why do I have still less than 1,000 followers? Like, what the hell? I've been around for 10, 20 years. But you've inspired me. You've taught me about like, oh, this is what I would have to consider if I wanted to really get that up. So that's huge. I only have like two more questions, and I'm gonna let you kind of get your day. Well, maybe three, but we're winding down. Um, do 20-year-olds think about self-care? Oh, okay, I know they do because
Yes.
I see it. Okay, so what is your self-care, or how do you define self-care, and what do you do for self-care?
Um I prioritize feeling good. Like I while remaining rational though at the same time. Like
Right.
I'm really, now that I have like more momentum with YouTube, I don't have to like slave away like how I was
Mhm.
last year. Like I was working a lot harder than I was right now. I'm still working hard, but it's just I'm
Mhm.
working in a smarter way now, where
Yeah.
like things are easier for my head. I realize I don't have to work myself to death. I can enjoy, a little bit. I can kick my feet up sometimes. Like
Love it.
it's it's okay. But again, like I said, while remaining rational, while still understanding that I have things I need to be getting done, you
Right.
know.
Right.
Um Working out, back to working out.
Good. Good.
Um and then uh
He's not gonna tell me the other stuff. He's like, mama, don't." I don't you don't have to say all the other things, but you enjoy leisure activities.
yeah.
Okay, there. He and I know. So we'll just, and again, as the mother, you're like, oh Lord. But I can't. My next question is gonna ask you, what advice would you give parents
No,
who
no,
are
no, 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 no,
raising?
no. Wait. Real quick,
Wait,
real quick,
what?
real quick.
Yeah.
Before that, what are you most looking forward to at this stage of life? Can I answer that real quick?
Oh
I just
yes,
wanna
yes, please, yes.
A dog.
What
I
is
want
yes? Let me.
a dog. I want a dog. I want a dog. I need a dog. Like I
Why?
dream of
What is
them.
it about a dog? Like, what do you think a dog will
'Cause
give
they're
you?
they're literally like they're your best friends in the world. Like there's
Yeah.
nobody who's gonna be more loyal and love you more than your dog. Like
Yeah.
if you die, it will sit there and die with you. Is how much
Yeah.
it loves you. And I feel like I would just love to have that little companion, little guy. That would just be so fun. I just want a dog and to completely live on my own, and like somewhere where I don't really know anybody. Like I want to just start my real adulthood and that's what I'm looking forward to, is a dog and living
I
by
love that.
myself.
I love that. Well, I will say my kids were raised with their cousin's dog.
Yeah.
And they say this, I know, my kids beg, "Mom, why don't we have a dog?" But it's because they were raised with a dog. The dog's name is Malu. Malu has Malu has transitioned now, but Malu is my niece's dog, and my kids were literally raised with Malu, and Malu was not a dog. She was a dog, but she wasn't a dog. And I keep telling them, I'm like, "I was raised with a dog. I've been around a lot of dogs, and no dog have I ever seen was like this dog. She was a complete spiritual guide angel in our house. Like I've never met a dog. Just really, she was a human in a dog format, but in a way of the most gentle and loving and fun and supportive dog. And so it's funny because I keep telling my kids, not all dogs are like this. So, just keep that in mind when you get that dog. Malu was Malu, but I love dogs too, and I just couldn't get a dog because I was trying to raise you guys, and it's just like it's like having a child. For me, it was it's like having a child when you're really raising a dog.
Yeah.
All right. So what was my question? What was parents. What's your advice to parents who are parenting things that they should be thinking about when they're parenting college-aged or teenaged or young adults? What's something?
Uh, this this is something I think you should do at also at a young age, but
Mhm,
also
mhm,
like right now,
mhm.
is put in their heads that they can do anything, or like they can be the best. Like there's I when I look at people, who are like I don't know, have a lot of money and doing what they love, and they feel like they have like these freedoms, or at least it looks like they have it through like social
Mhm,
media or whatever. I
mhm.
always think like, why can't that be? Why have I why do I think this can't be me? Like,
Yeah.
who, you're a human being too. Why can't I do that? Why can't I make all this money doing what I love and having fun? Like,
Mhm.
there's obviously a way to do it. And so when you limit yourself and tell yourself that you have to settle, or like you have to
Mm,
live this way of life, it it's untrue. But
yeah,
when that's all you know, that's
yeah.
like you're gonna think that's true. So you're limited to what you tell yourself. And so it would help if
Mm,
a parent is like telling you that you have no limit. So then
mm,
you can really like just go. Who did that and where I got that from
mhm,
is Kanye's mom. Have you watched the
mm.
document? You didn't watch the
I
documentary?
still have I've gotta you I
It's
know, I'm bad.
it's literally amazing.
Everybody's like, "It's outstanding." Yeah, I know. I need to watch it. I'll watch
because
it maybe this weekend because I have some downtime. Yeah.
because it's literally before Kanye was anything. Like he was nothing, but they have like actual 24/7 video recordings of like he's showing people his best songs like to this day, and they're just like, who are you, or whatever. And it's crazy because his mom, like, that's like a big topic throughout. You could see that she let him know that he can literally do anything, and
Mm,
he truly believed and believes that he can do anything. Like, it's not fake confidence, it's not just trying to hype yourself up. He genuinely in his head, because his mom said it so much,
yeah.
that he thinks and he will work to do anything. And I think that is so important, because if you think like that, then you literally can. Another Kanye quote, he said, "There's
Mhm.
there's a man who there's the man who think he can't, or there's a man who thinks he can, and then there's the man who thinks he can't. They're both right."
Mm, mm. Listen, okay, so Kanye, he's controversial, but Kanye is a Gemini, and Geminis are masters at words, and they're very good at being able to communicate and engage. And so that quote is that, the man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can are both right. Absolutely. I believe that. And I know, again, parenting you, I literally had to learn, like, you have to let this free soul be. Like, you have to. And it took it really yeah, more recently that it's like, okay, I really have to let him be. But what it also did was you being you taught me how to be me. Like,
Mm.
I'm learning still how to be free for me too, as a result of watching you and your brother be so, you know, present in your own lives and like just really kind of understanding it because I was not at that age. So all right. So parents, you heard, what Trey's advice, let your kids tell them that they don't have the limits. And we do that because we want to protect you, but at the same time, that can really stifle you. I get it. I get it. All right, this is the last question. And I know I'm not even gonna know probably the song, but what is your theme song?
Run It Up by Tyler, the Creator.
See, I knew I okay, let me
You
write it.
you
I
know who
I
Tyler, the Creator is?
I hear you guys talking about Tyler the Creator all the time,
You
but
would
I don't know. I
maybe
don't
you would like
know.
he's on more the artsy side of rap. Like,
Okay.
he has songs with, like, Erykah Badu.
Oh, then I probably heard Tyler the Creator. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have played it for me. And I will say, my kids give me playlists of song. They know me very well and they're like, "Oh yeah, mom, you'll like this. You like this rapper." Or no, mom, you're not gonna feel this. But I will look up. I've heard you say that name many times. Well, this has been wonderful. I usually, we have bonus and for this though, I decided I'm going to be airing this. I'm going to be usually our videos are just for our Patreon, but because this is special. This has been very special for me. It's been, I'm always amazed at you and what you do. I'm amazed at your brother, I'm going to have him on talking about meditation. He's in a whole nother zone. I just, he's like amazing.
He's a
And
loser.
oh, they say that yes, Trey is the typical big brother. That he's typical, with his giving his brother a hard time. But I appreciate you and keep again what you're doing. I really have just been like inspired and even with your TikTok and yeah, how can people follow you? That's the important thing. Now, I don't know. Now, remember, y'all, okay, he's 20. And this is what I have to do. To your point, when people ask, oh, what's your son doing? Is he still Xavier? Is he still and, I'm in that group where they're telling about all their kids doing, internships and college this and college that. And I'm like, no, my son just, but I have a lot of pride in saying, he made the decision to really follow who he is. And so he has a YouTube channel. He's a YouTube creator or a YouTuber. And I don't even use YouTuber because people minimize that. So I
Mhm.
say, a content creator or he, does creative content on YouTube. But and you're killing it. I'm like, and he's like in 1 year, you guys, he said he wanted 15,000 in 1 year. But what did
30.
you actually get?
Well, wait, in my first year?
Oh no, you said your first year, you said if I ever get 15,000. But what did
Yeah,
you want for your first year?
when I first started
Yeah.
when I first made my first video, like, maybe 500 subscribers. But then I got a little more. I was like, "Oh, if I could get 10K in my first year." But I had, like, 25K or something like that.
You had like 28. I kept it. I remember
Oh,
seeing it.
yeah.
You hit 28K. He hit 28,000 subscribers in a year.
Yeah.
And your anniversary was the end of July. And so we're now recording this in right before October begins. And I last time, because y'all, yes, I'm still mama, still making sure, son is, on his job. So I do look at his stats. I'm like a mom manager. But anyway, last time I checked, you'd hit 35,000. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just growing. But what's really tripping me out is your TikTok. Like that. And I knew, I was like, you got to monetize this because
Yeah.
this is crazy what I'm seeing. His engagement is just bananas on TikTok. You have over 100,000 followers and you have over 5 million likes and his videos get engagement from the tens of thousands to over millions. He has one video, I think you have one video that's hit 5 million so
Yeah.
views. So yeah, I know your stats. Yes, mama is on it. Mama is looking. So because the agreement that we did make is that I will invest in you while you keep investing in yourself. And I think that's very important also as parents is to invest in our children even when they are not doing exactly the college road. How can you still support them as long as they're still working hard? Now, if you're not working hard, and I told them, if you stop working hard, mama stops invested. So, you know, but I really appreciate you. So I'm going to let you go and enjoy your day. Those who are watching, thank you for watching us. Trey's playing his basketball and everything while we're talking. And those who are listening, which is fine. Well, those who are listening, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out Trey. His YouTube is at YouTube is Trey. And Trey is spelled with 3 Y's on YouTube. Get it? 3 Trey. There we go. And that's your handle on all across IG, TikTok, and YouTube, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see his content. Again, he's 20, y'all. He's gonna say a little curse word here or there. He might say a little foul. He may make you clutch your pearls a little bit. That is all right. That's you are who you
It's
are,
just a
and
character.
it's a character. Exactly. So I appreciate that. All righty. Well, we will be back next week. I'm going to stop the recording. You stay right there, Trey, for just a moment, and we'll be back. Thank you. You have anything else you want to say before we end? Any last comments? How did this feel doing this?
Fun. It's really fun.
Good. Good. I'm glad. All right. We'll be back next week. Talk to you guys later.